What is up, my ninjas? It's your boy Samurai Champloo here, and today we're going to look at some back takes from turtle. So the way that I like to play this is generally thinking if my opponent is playing a very tight turtle or if they're playing with their hands a little bit further out. So firstly, if they're very, very tight, it's obviously a little bit hard sometimes to find the space to get my knee in, to get a seat belt. So it can be a little bit annoying. But the thing that I want you to bear in mind is when they're very tight, they become easier to lift up, okay? So the first attack that we're going to do is from that kind of a scenario. I've landed in the turtle, and I can see that Julesie's playing a really tight game here. It's hard to find any kind of entries with my hands or with my knees. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this down into 3 parts, but they all actually have to happen at the same time. So the first part is I'm going to lift Jules up. I'm going to grab just here on his trap, and I'm going to lift him up here like this. Whoop. Now you can see this has created a little triangle here, some space. From here, I'm going to step all the way up, and I'm going to throw this hook in the far side. Once I've thrown the hook into the far side, I'm going to fall, and usually I end up with a very tight body triangle here, which I can lock immediately, or I can switch off into a normal kind of control here. So again, I broke that down into 3 parts, but they all need to happen at the same time. So again, Julesie's in nice and tight. I lift him up, I dump the hook, and I fall, and now we're in the back. Okay, so that's option 1 if they're playing very tight. Now the second option is if Julesie has his arms out a bit further. Here I have to be a bit cautious because sometimes if they're playing like this, they might be a good wrestler. They might have the option to start to turn around and face me, and I have to be a bit careful of getting knocked over myself. So what I'm going to do in this situation is first sneak my hand in underneath Julesie's arm and wrap around his neck here. My other hand is going to form a wedge on his thigh here, right? So now I've trapped Jules in place here, and this means that I'm in a very strong position to start knocking him over this way. If Julesie does nothing and doesn't hold himself up, I'm going to roll him over very uncomfortably into side control. Now, your opponent doesn't want that to happen. They're generally always going to try and provide some resistance and hold themselves up here. Once they're holding themselves up here, I can start to push, try and knock him into side control. When he isn't going, I'm going to use that reverse force and bring him up here into a nice strong back take. Now look, here I have the arm close to a Kimura grip. I could pass off and start attacking an arm bar or go to this kind of triangle position here. One more time. I've arrived at the back. I always see, is he playing a tight game or is he playing a game that's a bit looser, more of a wrestling style? If his hands are out here like this, that's perfect. I'm going to wrap my arm up and in, snake it around his head here, get my other hand and wedge the far hip. Now that I'm here, I'm going to start to knock him over. He's going to hold himself up. Beautiful. I turn and I roll him into the back. I can grab this Kimura grip straight away, start to look for these kinds of trap positions, switch off to the arm. So there you have it, my ninjas. 2 very easy, simple ways to attack the back, thinking either if they're in tight or if their arms are spread on the mat. Hope you like the content. Like and subscribe.